हरिः ओम् नमः सर्वेभ्यः। अष्टाध्यायी परिचयः इत्यत्र सुबन्तप्रकरणस्य अद्य षष्ठः अभ्यासवर्गः। शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। येनाक्षरसमाम्नायमधिगम्य महेश्वरात् कृत्स्नं व्याकरणं प्रोक्तं तस्मै पाणिनिये नमः। वाक्यकारं वररुचिं भाष्यकारं पतञ्जलिं पाणिनिं सूत्रकारं च प्रणतोऽस्मि मुनित्रयम्। Alaknandaji, we will start with you today. We will take all your 4 words: Anadi, Laghu, Tad, and Karman.
नमस्ते आचार्य।
Namaste.
नमः सर्वेभ्यः। इकारान्त नपुंसकलिङ्गः भाषितपुंस्कः अनादिशब्दः अस्ति। भाषितपुंस्कः अस्ति अतः तृतीयादिषु भाषितपुंस्कम् उवद्गालवस्य अनेन अनादि इत्यस्य भाषितपुंस्कस्य इगन्तस्य नपुंसकलिङ्गस्य तृतीयातः अग्रेषु अजादिविभक्तिप्रत्ययपरेषु पुल्लिङ्गवत् शब्द रूपाणि भवन्ति इति।
तत्र भाषितपुंस्कं नाम किम् इति कृपया स्पष्टीकरोतु।
एतत् शब्दं पुल्लिङ्गे अपि अस्ति तथा नपुंसकलिङ्गे तथा स्त्रीलिङ्गे अपि अस्ति, अतः भाषितपुंस्कम् इति नाम्ना।
भाषितः पुंस्कः येन सह, भाषितः पुमान् येन सह इत्युक्ते यस्य पुल्लिङ्गे अपि रूपं भवति इति तस्य अर्थः अस्ति। इत्युक्ते पुल्लिङ्गे भवति तथा च अनन्तरं स्त्रीलिङ्गे अपि भवति, नो चेत् नपुंसकलिङ्गे अपि भवति। यथा अनादि इति अस्ति तस्य नपुंसकलिङ्गे अपि रूपं भवति, पुल्लिङ्गे अपि रूपं भवति. So that नपुंसकलिङ्ग पुल्लिङ्ग pair is what matters for this particular भाषितपुंस्क word in तृतीयादिषु भाषितपुंस्कं पुमद्गालवस्य. Okay, we'll start.
सुप्रत्यय अनादियोगसु समोर् नपुंसकात् अनेन नपुंसकात् अंगात् परस्य सु इत्यस्य लोपः भवति.
Okay,
सम्बुद्धौ रूपद्वयं सम्भवति। यदि न लुमताङ्गस्य इत्यस्य अनित्यत्वात् अस्ति तत्र अनादे इति रस्वस्य गुणेन गुणः भवति, इकारान्तस्य अन्तस्य गुणः भवति.
And नलुमताङ्गस्य इत्यस्य अनित्यत्वं न स्वीक्रियते चेत्
केवलम अनादि इति रूपं तिष्ठति.
Okay, now can we explain, either you or somebody, can you explain what this anityatva nityatva business is? Because this is crucial to understand. And what exactly is this meant by anityatva and why is it causing a guna? Yeah, you want to explain or you're not sure?
I'm not much sure. While I was studying the sutras, I saw that. But
just picked up from the slide and wrote.
न नित्यत्वम् इत्युक्ते नित्यं करणीयम् एव अस्ति, परन्तु विकल्पेन यदि रूपं सम्भवति तत्र अनित्यत्वात् न लुमताङ्गस्य इति विकल्पेन तत्र तस्य प्रसक्तिः भवति.
So let's talk.
मया ज्ञातं.
Vidyaji, are you here? She keeps on asking me question about Nalumatangasya and Anityatva. Do you want to say something on this topic? You probably know a lot by now.
नमस्कारः महोदय. नमस्ते महोदय. तत्र लर्न्ट् अ लाट् इति किमपि नास्ति महोदय, किञ्चित् अवगच्छामि एतद् वदामि. अतः लुमत् नाम लुकारः यस्मिन् लोपे अस्ति इति अर्थः. तत्र लुक् श्लु लुपः इति अस्ति. तैः एकं स्वीकृत्य तेन लोपः क्रियते चेत् तद् लुमत लोपः इति वक्तुं
सः लुमान् लोपः. लुमान् लोपः. लुः अस्य अस्ति इति लुमत पुल्लिङ्गे पुल्लिङ्गे प्रथम एकवचने लुमान्. सः लुमान् लोपः. तादृशे लोपे कृते
तत्र तदनन्तरम् अङ्गस्य कार्यं किमपि न भवितुम् अर्हति.
अङ्गस्य इत्युक्ते यस्मात् अङ्गात् विहितस्य प्रत्ययस्य लोपः कृतः अस्ति तस्य अङ्गस्य कार्यं न भवितुम् अर्हति इति अत्र आशयः अस्ति. अतः अनादि प्लस् सु वदतु.
प्रत्ययलोपे प्रत्ययलक्षणं.
प्रत्ययलोपे प्रत्ययलक्षणम् इत्यनेन प्रत्ययस्य लक्षणम् इत्युक्ते कार्यं. प्रत्ययस्य कार्ये प्राप्ते इदानीं नलुमताङ्गस्य इत्यनेन तादृशम् अङ्गकार्यं निषिध्यते. So we have to start with pratyalope pratyalakshanam and say that any time a pratyaya is removed, the karya that was to be done by pratyaya will still be done after removal. Having said that, If the pratyaya is removed either by luka or shlu or lupa, then that karya will only happen if it is not an anga karya. Anga karya lies in 6.4 to 7.4. If the karya lies in this particular 5 padas, 6.4 to 7.4, that karya will not happen when the lopa of the pratyaya is done by luka or shlu or lupa. If the lopa is done by lopa itself, like hal gyadbhyo dirghasutisya pruktam hal, this particular sutram does a lopa. It doesn't do a luka, shlu or lupa. If the lopa is done by the word lopa itself, then all karyas will happen. Pratyay lope pratyay lakshanam is the only sutram. But if luk, shlu, lup is used, then anga karyam will not happen. Okay, what is the reason why we invoked this sutram over here? After swamor napumsakat causes the look of the su pratyaya, rasvasya gunaha sees an ikara which is a rasva ikara and will cause a gunadesha. This is an angakarya 7.3 and therefore it will be blocked by nalumatangasya, giving rise to anadi. But we are also saying anade. What's the deal over here? That's what I want to know. Anybody? What is this anityatvat? Anybody who wants to speak can raise their hand. Am I not audible or nobody knows what's going on? Anadi is the correct form because su pratyay is removed and rasvasya gunaha will be blocked by na lumatangasya. But then we are saying over here na lumatangasya ityasya anityatvat. What is this business anityatvat and what is it had to do with anade? Alaknandaji, you want to say something or no?
Maybe anade iti rupam kutrachit vartate.
Correct. So in the Sahitya, you see the Ikaranta Napumsakalinga Sambodhana forms with Ekara, like or Ukaranta also. So Laghu becomes Lagho, Adi becomes Ade, Anadi becomes Anade. In order to, or Vari becomes Vare, Madhu becomes Madho. In order to justify those forms, we need to do Rasvasya Gunaha somehow. The sad story is that Rasvasya Gunaha is blocked because of Nalumatangasya. And therefore, we apply this particular concept called Anityatva. Anityatva means sometimes a sutram forgets to apply. Forgets to apply means not we as writing the prakriya are forgetting the sutram. The prakriya itself tells us that somehow the sutram will not apply over here. So, Anityatva, remember there is many days ago, in many classes ago, we talked about Badhya Badhaka Bhava between the sutras, and we talked that there are different ways of doing Badhya Badhaka Bhava. We said there is Antaranga Bahiranga, we said Utsarga Pavada, we said Purva Para, Vipratisheda, we said Asiddhatva Siddhatva, and there was one more term that we said Anityatva versus Nityatva. That anityatva is completely different. This anityatva has nothing to do with that badhya badhaka bhava anityatva. The anityatva word written over here, it simply means that in order to justify existing prayogas, a sutra where it is expected to be applied somehow does not apply. This is only to be determined by Shishtas only by looking at the Shishta prayogas. This particular business does not mean that Nalumatangasya will always be absent. It does not mean that Nalumatangasya is optional. It is nothing like that. Nalumatangasya is as compulsory as all other sutras. Once in a while, it will somehow hit a red signal and will not reach there on time. That's all that you have to understand. And this is justified only by the scholars, by the commentaries, by the shishtas in order to justify existing prayogas. So here, when nalumatangasya is not applied, anityatva means what? Nalumatangasya is blocking the angakarya from happening. If nalumatangasya does not get applied, the angakarya never gets blocked. Therefore, the angakarya can now execute. Therefore, rasvasya gunaha will execute and convert anadi to anade. Nalumatangasya is not permanently blocked over here. So the original form where nalumatangasya comes in the picture and the guna is blocked is also possible. A new form where nalumatangasya wakes up late and forgets that it has to come over here, and therefore rasvasya guna can come and apply, and anade is generated. Both the forms are possible. Any questions about this? If something is not clear about anityatva, please ask. You should not say anityatva any other place. Nalumatanga says not anitya in random cases except when told by the shishtas and the shastra prayogas. Any questions on this? Okay, we will move ahead. Au and out.
औ तथा औट इत्यत्र नपुंसकाच्च अनेन शी आदेशः भवति। अनेकाल्चित् सर्वस्य अनेन शी इति आदेशः सर्वादेशः। सानिवदादेशो अनल्विदो अनेन शी इति प्रत्ययरूपेण विधीयते।
Then
लशक्वतद्धिते तस्य लोपः। इकोचि विभक्तौ अनेन अजादि सुप्रत्यय परे नुमागमः भवति। मिदचोन्त्यात् परः अनन्य अन्त्यात् अचः परः अचात् न अचः। अनादिनी इति रूपं सिद्ध्यति।
Anadini iti rupam siddhati. We discussed this particular example as the reason why she is dirgha. And here ikochi vibhaktau ityanena ajadi vibhakti pratyaye pare atra num agama bhavati. Why didn't you apply sarvanama sthane cha sambuddhau?
सर्वनाम स्थानं नास्ति।
Sorry, napumsakasya jhalacha. Why didn't you apply napumsakasya jhalacha?
सर्वनाम स्थानं नास्ति तत्र।
I gave her the answer again. I asked the question. I should have first asked napumsakasya jhalacha. Okay. Napumsakasya jhalacha. This is not a sarvanama sthanam because this is a napumsakalinga. So only she, not even just and shas, only she is the sarvanama sthana. Essentially, it means the same thing. So that's anadini. Now you come over here. You have mentioned this napumsakasya jhalacha over here. That's good. Okay. Just and shas.
जशसो शिहि अनेन जशस् प्रत्ययोः शि इति आदेशः भवति। नपुंसकस्य झलच इति सूत्रं बाधित्वा इकोचि विभक्तो अनेन इकारान्त अजादि सुप्रत्यय परे नुमागमः।
Numagamati. So napumsakasya jhalacha causes what?
सर्वनाम स्थाने नुमागमः भवति।
Ikochi vibhakto says what?
इकः इगन्त पदस्य नुमागमः भवति।
Okay,
सर्वाणि
so what is being blocked and what is being generated?
परत्वात् नपुंसकः जलस्य इति blocked by
Sutra ne karyam. Which karya is blocked and which karya replaces that?
नुमागम एव अस्ति, परन्तु एतत् नुमागम इकोचि विभक्तो अनेन भवति।
So say numagamam badhitva numagamam pravartate. Correct? So X is blocked and immediately next sutram X is the only, again the same karya that is given. Do you remember any other such example? Not you, this is not necessarily you. X is blocked and by some other sutram X is immediately given. You see what is happening over here? Napumsakasya jhalachaha would cause a numagama, that is blocked. Ikochi vibhakto causes a numagama. So X is blocked, immediately next sutram again gives X. Do you know any such other example where some Y is not necessarily numagama, some Y is blocked and again the next sutram or say 2 sutras later, 3 sutras later will give Y?
आटश्च इत्यत्र
किं भवति? Speak. A plus A इत्यत्र किं भवति? नदी plus A plus A इत्यत्र किं भवति?
आटश्चने नद्यै एव
भवति. If there would not have been आटश्च,
नद्यै एव.
Okay, so वृद्धि, what is the sutram? वृद्धिरेचि. वृद्धिरेचि 88 वृद्धिरेचि. And Atashcha is immediately 2 sutras later, 90. So what is happening? Atashcha is causing Vruddhi, but Vruddhirechi could have caused Vruddhi. Vruddhi is blocked and Atashcha again gives Vruddhi. Is this clear to everybody? Vidyaji, you have a question?
Namaste.
Any other example that anybody remembers? Atashcha is a correct example. There is no question about it. You are having an X, it is blocked and another X is given. आटश्च इत्यत्र वृद्धिः भवति, वृद्धिरेचि इत्यत्रापि वृद्धिः भवति. Any other example that somebody can think of? पूर्णिमा जी.
महोदय तत्र अकस्सवर्णे दीर्घः
अकस्सवर्णे दीर्घः इत्यनेन दीर्घे प्राप्ते तद् बाधित्वा
प्रथमयोः पूर्वसवर्णः
इत्यनेन दीर्घः. Give an example.
प्रथमयोः पूर्वसवर्णः सर्वनामस्थाने.
You have written it on the screen. What happens with mala plus jasa?
माला प्लस जस अत्र प्रथमयोः पूर्वसवर्ण दीर्घः
अकस्सवर्णे दीर्घः
अकस्सवर्णे दीर्घः इति धवर्णदीर्घ आदेशः प्राप्ते अपि प्रथमयोः पूर्वसवर्णः इति सूत्रेण पूर्वसवर्णदीर्घादेशः भवति.
भवति वा?
माला प्लस जस.
विद्याजी भवति वा? विद्याजी भवति अत्र?
महोदय अन्यः
बिफोर कमिंग टू अन्यः I'll come to अन्यः उदाहरणम् in a minute. Wait. Before that, let's finish up this. What happens here? माला प्लस जस इत्यत्र किं भवति?
मालास् इति भवति.
केन सूत्रेण?
तत्र प्रथमयोः
पूर्वसवर्णम्.
महोदय तत्र
महोदय दीर्घवर्ण अस्ति.
दीर्घाचिसिट् इत्यनेन
प्रथमयोः पूर्वसवर्णः निषिध्यते.
Therefore you seem to be forgetting everything.
अकस्सवर्ण दीर्घ
भवति. So what is happening in case of mala plus jasa? It is not exactly the same example that we saw earlier, but nevertheless useful. The first sutram gives x. On blocking that, the second sutram gives x. It is actually not the same kriti because it is savarna dirgha, whereas it is purva savarna dirgha, but the final result is same. And that x is blocked, and you go back and you get the first x. You get what I'm saying? Mala plus jasa gives akara, that is blocked by prathamayo purva savarna giving akara, that is blocked by dirgha jasicha, you go back giving akara. But the question was, which is an example where x is blocked and you get another x? Why we are spending so much time on such trivial questions? Because these are the questions that will enforce your understanding of the Subanta Prakriya. Otherwise, I can finish up with 10 students in one class. The reason I'm asking these questions, it is irrespective of how you go or how you study, these are the questions that are going to help you enforce your understanding of the Subanta Prakaranam. So we are spending so much time on this. So which is another example where x will give, x is blocked and gives x? Vidyaji, you wanted to say something?
महोदय तत्र वृद्धिरेचि इति अस्ति.
Example you have to give.
तत्र एक प्लस धन एक इति तत्र वृद्धिरेचि इत्यस्य एकैक इति भवति.
परन्तु what is blocked? How is वृद्धि blocked?
तस्य अपवादत्वेन तस्य एङिपररूपम् इति एजते.
प्र प्लस एजते.
तत्र प्रैजते इति न भवति. प्रेजते इति भवति. पुनः तद् बाधित्वा
प्लस एधते. What happens?
उपएदते.
उपएधते. चलो उपएधते.
तत्र एति एधते ऊट् इत्यादिषु उपैधते इति भवति.
So what is happening?
पुनः वृद्धिरेकादेशः.
वृद्धिं बाधित्वा गुणे प्राप्ते तद् बाधित्वा पुनः वृद्धि भवति. So this is yet another different example where you have x being blocked by y and y is being blocked by x again. So see, I asked one question and we are finding various patterns. The first pattern was x is blocked and x is given by another sutram. The second pattern, the example was here, Napumsakasya Jhalacha versus Ikoche Vibhakto. The second one was x is blocked, another x is given, but that x is blocked, giving back the first x. The example was mala plus jasa. Now we are seeing a third example. X is blocked because of y, and y is blocked, giving back x. And the example is this upa plus etate. Very good, but this is exactly, neither of these answers are not exactly the answer that, exactly the situation that answers the original question. Is everybody with me so far? This discussion is very interesting because all these are patterns that will help us enhance or get more clarity on our understanding of the Subanta Prakriya. One example was x blocked by x. Second example was x blocked by x blocked, and therefore the original x comes back. And third example was x blocked by y blocked by x. Ratnakarji.
पुनः
उच्यताम्
पुनः एकः अस्ति महोदय, एकम् उदाहरणं तत्र निषेधः इति वक्तुं शक्नुमः वा इति न जानामि, परन्तु नपुंसके अतः तत्र फल इति अस्ति, अमिपरे स्वमोर् नपुंसकात् इति क्षम्यताम् न आम् तत्र स्वमोर् नपुंसकात् इति अस्ति, तद् वारि इत्यस्य
अतोम् इति भवति, स्वमोर् नपुंसकात् इति बाधित्वा
तदनन्तरम् अतोम् इति पुनः अम् आगच्छति।
परन्तु तत्र किमस्ति, तत्र मूलप्रत्ययः एव विधीयते। ओके, सो तत्र किमस्ति, एक्स् इत्यस्य लोपं बाधित्वा पुनः एक्स् विधीयते। येट् अनदर पैटर्न। एक्स् इत्यस्य लोपः तत्र स्वमोर् नपुंसकात् इत्यनेन सम्भवति, तद् बाधित्वा पुनः एक्स् एव आदेशरूपेण विधीयते। सो यू हैव एक्स् to y, but y in this case is a special case of lopa that is blocked and x is given back again. So this is similar to your example where vruddhi is blocked by guna is blocked by vruddhi, which is same as saying x, the is blocked by, the lopa of is blocked and is given back again. Okay, but still our original question, I will not spend more time, we are spending too much time. Ratnakarji, if you have anything to say, you raised your hand. Otherwise, take this as a self-work, a question for thinking over, and then you can discuss it on the group. Ratnakarji.
Sorry that I may be excused, but in fact, when I check back, even in Ramashabda, the prakriya goes like this: Rama plus Pratamayo Porosarna Nadichi and a block, and Rama Vruddhichi. But here I missed the question, in fact.
No, that's okay. So that is okay. So in Prathamayo Purva Savarnaha, you are getting a different Karya Y. That Y is blocked and you are getting back X. That's yet another pattern. But this is not exactly the pattern we are looking.
That's what
that's right. Yeah. No worries. Okay, think about this. This is discussed in course. This is discussed at one point, and maybe hopefully you will remember. Agre. Anadini is done. Sarvanama sthane cha sambuddhiti numa iti dirghe krute. Srinivas Mahoday.
अन्य एकम् उदाहरणं तत्र रुद्रविसर्गयोः यदा कार्यं भवति तदा
उदाहरणं
खरवसानयोर् विसर्जने.
Give me an example, literal example.
रामः प्लस क्षत्रियः तत्र
रामसु प्लस क्षत्रियः. You need a su.
रामसु प्लस क्षत्रियः.
रामसु प्लस क्षत्रियः. तत्र विसर्गस्य विसर्गादेशः एव भवति इति अत्र. That was what you are saying, right?
आमां सत्यं.
Correct. So विसर्गस्य विसर्गादेशः एव भवति, परन्तु तत्र अस्माकं प्रश्नः कथम् आसीत्, एकेन सूत्रेण उक्तं कार्यं बाधित्वा अपरेण सूत्रेण तदेव कार्यम् उच्यते. Like what is happening over here, napumsakasya jhalacha is actually a valid sutram. It will give a numagama. That is blocked and ikochi vibhakto gives a numagama. So this example doesn't fit over there because it is just saying that one visarga is just converted to the same entity again. It is not saying ekena sutrena praptam karyam badhitva annena sutrena tadeva karyam uchyate. That's not the point over it. Okay?
Awesome.
Vidyaji.
पुनः मम पूर्व उदाहरणवत् भवेत् महोदय, तत्र अष्टुनाष्टु पदान्ताट्टोरणां तत्रापि पुनः आगच्छति.
उदाहरणं
तत्र अष्टुनाष्टु तत्र षण्णां नगरीणां.
So what happens?
तत्र षट् प्लस् नकारेण तत्र साक्षात् ष्टुत्वं भवति इति उक्तवान्, तत्र तदनन्तरं न भवति इति टोरणाम् इत्येन षड् इत्यस्य न भवति।
Again, these are all valid. These are all examples of different patterns, right? X is being blocked and the block is being removed, so same sutra is applied, right? When you are saying in case of Prathameyo Purva Savarna versus Akasavarni Dirgha, or these cases, is it same sutra being applied or a different sutra being applied? If it is the same sutra being applied, then that's not a valid example. Your example of ekaik or upaidhate was correct. Upa plus edhate. Why? Because one sutram blocked another sutram. So y blocks x and some z other sutram blocks y, but the karya given by z and karya given by x are same. This is what we are interested in. The karya has to be exactly identical, like what is happening over here. Napumsakasya jalacha is doing a numagama. The next sutram blocks Napumsakasya jalacha. So what we would expect, it would give something else, that it is now blocking numagama, it might give something else. But sadly, it gives numagama again. So numagamam badhitva numagamaha. This is what we want to understand. Like akaradesham badhitva akaradeshaha, or say kugagamam badhitva kugagamaha. This is the structure that we would like to capture.
Nut agam badhitva numagama parantu.
That's a different story. Nut agamam badhitva num agama is a slightly different story, because nut is a tit agama adyavayavaha, num is a mit agama antyat achaha paraha. So these are locations are different, right? So if you want to take example of nut badhitva nut. If you want to take example of num badhitva num. That is the structure that we are looking at. Okay. Let's not spend time, but take this question as a question for self-study. We'll discuss it on the group. If nobody discusses, I'll discuss it in the next class. 30 minutes over, only first prakriya is there. Next one.
Amityata samor napunsaka anena
amityasya lopaha. Agre, shasa is done. Ta.
Ta ityatra anadina iti shesoghyasaki nadivinne ikarasya anadityasya gi sonnayam satyam ango nastriyam anena ta ityasya naadesha.
Tritiyadishu bhashita pumskam. What is this sutram? I forgot Tritiyadishu bhashita pumskam. Tritiyadishu bhashita pumskam. Can somebody remind me what this sutram is?
तृतीयातः नपुंसकलिङ्गस्य रूपद्वयं भवति, पुल्लिङ्गवदपि भवति, परन्तु अच् अजादि विभक्ति प्रत्यय परे भवति, इगन्तस्य भवति.
इगन्तस्य इत्युक्ते इ उरुलु अजादि विभक्ति प्रत्यय परे भवति, अन्यत्र न भवति. Why is that ajadi added? I think we discussed this in the class, right? Or you don't remember? Why is ajadi vibhakti pratyeshu pareshu added over here?
Ta ityatra na sambhavati, ta iti ajadi.
So ajadi, it should happen.
Trutiyatah asti parantu tritiya vibhaktehe drupatayam na sambhavati.
Okay, let's go multiple points over here. Tritiya vibhaktehe vishe kim bhavati?
न सम्भवति कारणेन अनेन
कथं न सम्भवति? तृतीयादिषु तृतीया अस्ति, भाषितपुंस्कम् अस्ति, अजादि प्रत्ययः अस्ति, टा इति अजादि अस्ति किल? तर्हि कथं न सम्भवति? See, I will show you the prakriya. Anadi plus ta ityatra, in one paksha you do sheshogya sakhi and angonastriyam and convert it to na, and anadina is created. In the second paksha, as soon as you see a ta, you do ikochi vibhaktau, because now it is going to be you do pullingavat. So in that paksham you do anadi plus na and you get anadina. So that's the pullingavat. And in napumsakalinga you say anadi plus ta ikochi vibhaktau, anadin plus a anadina. So same form is generated. Is everybody with me so far, or am I talking in air? You get what I'm saying, right?
But we discussed that tritiya vibhakto na sambhavati.
We discussed, right? So what is the answer? What is the answer? Let's see if anybody else is understanding, or I'm just talking in blank screen. The question is, in Tritiya Ekvachanam, I never anticipated it will take so much time for Anadi. In Tritiya Ekvachanam, in Anadi plus ta, why cannot I do ikochi vibhakto numagamaha and then anadina? Simple, right? You did it for द्वितीया एकवचन, द्वितीया द्विवचनम, द्वितीया प्रथमा द्विवचनम, बहुवचनम, everywhere you did numagama by ikochi vibhakto. Let us do numagama by ikochi vibhakto. The ta remains as it is, anadi plus numa anadina plus a anadina. Why not do numagama over here?
क्षम्यताम् आचार्य, हम एवमेव
No,
स्मरामि.
no, that's okay. I'm not targeting you, anybody. Vidyaji.
तत्र आङ्गोना अस्त्रियाम् इत्यनेन भवति महोदय, तत्र घेः इत्येव भवति.
So घेः इत्येव भवति means what?
घी सम्यकस्य एव भवति, अनादि इति घी सम्यक् अधुना नास्ति, तत्र घी सम्यकः भवेत् पुंसि, परन्तु नपुंसके न भवेत्.
Okay, hold on. घी संज्ञा पुल्लिंगे एव भवति उत नपुंसकलिंगे अपि भवति?
न महोदय,
नपुंसके अपि भवति खलु?
नपुंसके अपि भवति घी संज्ञा. व्हाट इज द सूत्रम? शेषोघ्यसखी.
शेषोघ्यसखी.
शेषः इत्युक्ते पुल्लिंग नपुंसकलिंगे स्त्री भिन्नः शेषः. व्हाट इज रिटन इन द शेषोघ्यसखी? पुल्लिंग नपुंसकलिंग, right? Or nadi bhinnaha. Both meanings. Didn't they say that there are both the meanings associated with this sutram? So sheshaha ityasya arthadvayam atra vyakyaneshu कृतमस्ति. येषां नदी संज्ञा न भवति, नदी संज्ञा भिन्नः ह्रस्व इकारान्तः ह्रस्व उकारान्तः शब्दः, which will include the mati and so on also, but not here over here in this sutram. So specifically it will include the pullinga and strilinga, napumsakalinga. Therefore, the ghi samnya is given for the pullinga words as well as napumsakalinga words. Therefore, whether anadi is considered pullinga or whether anadi is considered napumsakalinga. Why am I saying pullinga or napumsakalinga both? Because trityadishu bhashita pumskam puvad galavasya will allow an optional treatment like pullinga, and in other option there is a napumsakalinga treatment. So pullinga and napumsakalinga both are choices. In either case, anadi is going to become ghi samyaka, and therefore angonastriya is a parasutram. It is 73120. Ikochi vibhakto is 7173. So parasutram will force a na adesha. Therefore, whether it is pullinga or napumsakalinga, ta will be converted to na. Ikochi vibhakto is blocked. Simple purva paranyaya. Ikochi vibhakto is blocked by angonastriyam. In both cases, you get anadina. So it is actually two forms. In pullinga also you get anadina. In napumsakalinga also you get anadina. So whatever you have written over here, trityadishu bhashita pumskam galavasya anena anaditi bhashita pumskasya napumsakasya pullingavad rupam na bhavati is not correct. Pullingavad rupam avashyam bhavati, because the sutram says trityadishu bhashita pumskam pumat galavasya, and this is tritiya ekvachana. And therefore bhashita pumskasya napumsakasya pullingavadeva rupam bhavati yatohi angonastrayamiti parasutrena ikochi vibhaktiti purva sutram bhatate. Is this clear? Okay. Correct. Next. Anadi. Anadi.
अनादिभ्यां वर्णमेलनेन भवति. अत्र भ्याम् इति अजादि नास्ति, अतः पुल्लिङ्गवत्
वर्णमेलनम नास्ति. There is no melanam here. Just put the pratyaya next to each other. Varnamelanam means varna should combine. There is no varnamelanam. This is just sitting next to each other. Okay.
अनादिभिस् इत्यत्रापि सुलभ एव. अनादिभिस् ऋतुविसर्गे
anadine. This will take 10 or 15 more minutes.
अनादिने इत्यत्र इकोचि विभक्तो अनेन इकारान्त नपुंसकस्य अजादिसु प्रत्यये नुमागमः इति नुमागमः इको अत्र इकोचि विभक्तो अत्यस्यापि प्रसक्तिः अस्ति, परन्तु वृद्धि औ तृजद्भावगुणेभ्यः पूर्व विप्रतिषेधेन इति वार्तिकेन इकोचि विभक्तो इत्यस्य एव प्रसक्तिः. एकस्मिन् वर्गे वयं तत्र
एकस्मिन् वर्गे वयं त्यक्तवन्तः. So explicitly things that you should not study. What does this sign mean? Don't study, because nobody would have studied. So I have opened the slide over here because I know ekasmin varge. So this purva vipratishedha, that's the concept that is coming over here. What is purva vipratishedha? We have written over
पूर्वेण
here, no?
सूत्रेण
In
अनन्तरसूत्रं बाधते.
Vipratished, usually is the Parasutram that acts, but there are exactly two Vartikas, because of which in some cases Purva Vipratishedha, the Purva Sutram takes precedence even when there is Vipratishedha. That is called Purva Vipratishedha. So observe what is happening over here. In case of Anadi, this whether this is a Napumsakalinga word or a Pullinga word, Ghi Samya is always there. Now, once it has a Ghi Samya, there is a Sutram Gher-ngiti. This particular Sutram will cause a Guna on the Anga. Like, for example, it happens Muni plus A. Muni becomes Muni. So, that's Gher-ngiti. So, this Gher-ngiti will cause a Guna on the Anga. At the same time, Ikochi Vibhaktau is causing a Numagama on the Anga in case of Napumsaka. Compare this exactly with what we did in case of Ta. There was Ikochi Vibhaktau causing a Numagama, and Angona Striyam was causing a Na Adesha. Angona Striyam was 73120. Ikochi Vibhaktau was 7173. We said that Angona Striyam is a Parasutram, so it takes precedence. Now let's apply the same rule over here. Ikochi Vibhakto 7173 versus Gherangiti 73111. Gherangiti would take the precedence over here, creating the final form as Anade plus A giving Anadaye or something else. Even if the Numagama happens after that, it will be Anadene or something. Incorrect form will be generated. In order to avoid that, in order to create a correct form called Anadine, Vartikakara proposes that Ikochi Vibhakto still should be favored over Gherangiti, even though this is a Purva Sutram. And therefore he creates a Vartikam, Vruddhi Autva Trujvad Bhava Gunebhyaha Num Purva Vipratishedhena. So he actually is a very beautiful case study that he has actually thought through the examples that in some cases Vruddhi and Numa, there is a competition. Num is always Ikochi Vibhakto. So in some cases, the Num given by Ikochi Vibhakto is conflicting with Vruddhi, and Num should win even if it is Purva Sutra. In some cases, Num conflicts with Autva. We are going to see this in Saptami Ekvachanam. And Num should win even if it is Purva Sutra. In some cases, Numa conflicts with Trujvad Bhava, and still Num should win even if it is Purva Sutra. And finally, in some cases like here, Num is conflicting with Guna. Gherangiti is giving you a Guna. Num given by Ikochi Vibhakta is conflicting with Guna, and Num should win even though it is a Purva Sutra. So these things are collected, very, very fascinating Vartikam. These are collected by Vartikakara, and he says Vruddhi Autva Trujvat Bhava Gunebhya Num Purva Vipratishedhena. So when there is a scope of Ikochi Vibhakta in the Napumsakalinga, the Gherangiti, even though it is a Parasutram, it is blocked by Ikochi Vibhakta giving Anadi plus Numa plus A, and then the Prakriya happens and you get Anadine. And when there is the Pullinga, like because of Trityadisha Bhashita Pumskam Pumvad Galavasya, when there is a Pullinga, we will have Ghergiti, there is no Ikochi Vibhakto, will finally get Hoyavava and so on, and Anadaye is the form that is generated. So when you have a conflict between Ghergiti, which is Chaturthi Ekvachanam, Panchami Ekvachanam, and Shashti Ekvachanam, and Ikochi Vibhakto, this particular Vartika that takes the Num or gives Num more precedence over Guna has to be invoked. You have done that in all these three cases. Let's go ahead. So that creates Anadaye and Anadine. Any questions on this? Okay, let's go ahead. Anadibhyaha. Let's talk about Anadi plus Nasi.
अत्रापि इकोचि विभक्तो अनेन इकारान्त नपुंसकस्य अजादि सुप्रत्ययपदे नुमागमः अत्रापि घेर्गिति इत्यस्य घेर्गिति इत्यस्य अपि प्राप्तिः पूर्वप्रतिषेधेन इकोचि विभक्तो अनेन नुमागमः अतः अनादिनः इति रूपं सिद्ध्यति
अनादिनः and other cases is like Muni Anadehe.
अनादि
Shashti Ekvachan is same Anadinoho. Let's talk about this.
समान एव अस्ति इकोचि
Why
विभक्तो
are you saying Gher Niti? Is this a Nit Pratyaya?
न
So
नाही ओ सी च नाही
OC is for akaranta words.
आमा.
So what is one form is anadinoho, and what is the second form? Anadyoho. Right? So you have written anadyoho over here. So anaditi bhashita pumskasya pullingavad rupam bhavati. That's all that we care. Pullingavad rupam bhavati ityukte ikochi vibhakto ityasya prayogaha na sambhavati. So you have normal munyoho sadho, like that you have anadyoho iko yenachi. But in case of the numagama, in case of napumsakalinga, the numagama will quietly come. There is no gherngiti, there is no vruddhya utva nothing. Copy paste. I always say this, na? Study is waste, do only copy paste. So ikochi vibhakta ityanena numagamaha bhavati, and once you do the numagama, you get anadinoho. Clear? Shashti bahuvachanam.
रस्वनद्यापोऽनुट् इत्यस्य विप्रतिषेधेन एकोचि विभक्तो अनेन नुमागमः भवति अनादि नुमागमः मिदतोऽन्तात् परः अनेन अन्त्यात् अचात् परः अनादि नुम् आम हलन्त्यम् इत्यनेन मकारस्य लोपः अनादीनां नामि इत्यनेन दीर्घ इकारः.
How did you do dirgha over here?
नाम
What is this?
प्रत्यय.
Where is naam pratyay over here?
No, you.
Is there a naam pratyaya?
Naam.
No, not there, right?
So
this dirgha cannot happen. So this dirgha cannot happen. You get what I'm saying? I'm not targeting you. So naam pratyay is not there. Therefore, dirgha cannot happen.
I had doubt there, but somehow I wrote.
That's okay. No worries. So basically, what is wrong over here? What is the mistake over here? The mistake is you did not apply rasvanadhyapo nuta and you chose the vipratishedha and applied numa. You understood what is happening? Clear? Let us go over this prakriya slowly. You add anadi plus am. Let's do the simple case first. In the pullinga case, it is very easy. Anadi plus am, rasvanadhyapo nuta gives you a nudagama. Anadi na am, there is a nama pratyaya, nami iti dirgha. This prakriya is all correct. This is in the pullinga. In napumsakalinga, what is happening? In napumsakalinga, you added anadi plus am. At this particular stage, you correctly pointed out two sutras. Rasvanadhyapo nutta would create a nutta agama, but that nutta agama is on whom? It is on the pratyaya, am pratyaya. As against ikochi vibhakta is another sutram that is going to cause a num agama, but that is on the anga. So there is a conflict even though the places are different. Satyapi sambhave badhanam bhavati. Even if the places are different, the simultaneous application is still there. Therefore, there is a conflict between nutta and numa. And what did we do? Because of the paratva, you used a numagama, vipratishedhe param karyam. So you wrote over here, rasvandhyapuruityata vipratishedhena. So paratvena, ikochi vibhaktav iti numagamaha bhavati. Once the numagama is done, there is a problem for dirgha. Anadinam with a hasva is not a correct final form. The correct final form is compulsorily anadinam with a dirgha ikara. Therefore, we cannot apply ikochi vibhakta. We must apply rasvanadhyapo nuta. Is this clear?
अत्रापि पूर्वप्रतिषेधेन भवति.
पूर्वविप्रतिषेधेन. So you only studied half of the PPT. Immediately on the next slide, there is a second vartikam. Numachirutrujvad bhavebhyo nut purvavipratished. So when there is a conflict between numa and nutta, nutta wins by purvavipratished. Exact this example. Rasvanadhyapo nutta ityanena uktasya nudagamasya samaye numagamena vipratished jate पूर्वविप्रतिषेधस्य प्रयोगं कृत्वा नुडागमः एव करणीयः. So we are doing
I missed that slide.
So like Abhiman, which number PPT Ratnakarji? 49. You should not be asking this question. This is like Abhimanyu only knows one way, not coming back. So vari plus av ityatra there is a nud agama. So two vartikas one after the other. Very, very fascinating vartikas. Actually, I have written a detailed article. It's not yet on the website, but it actually enumerates all possible use cases of Vruddhi versus Numa, Autva versus Numa, Trujvod versus Numa, Guna versus Numa, and similarly Numa versus Nutta, Achir versus Nutta, Trujvod Bhava versus Nutta. So 7 different cases. So 2 vartikas, Ashtadhyayam ahatya dvayoho sthalayoho purva vipratishedah उक्तः अस्ति वृद्धि औत्वतृजद्भावे गुणेभ्यो नुम प्रतिषेधेन. This is done in the chaturthi ekvachanam as we saw, and numachitrujaddhaveभ्यो नुट् प्रतिषेधेन this is done in the shashti bahuvachanam as we saw right now. So same prakriya, 2 different locations, 2 different vartikas are being used. So you have to fix this prakriya, this entire
Yes,
prakriya.
yes. Sorry, I missed that.
That's okay. Okay. Next one. Ni.
ङि प्रत्ययपरे इकोचि विभक्तो अनेन नुमागमः भवति. अत्र घेर् इत्यस्यापि प्राप्तिः, परन्तु पूर्व
what घेर् गीति इत्यस्य प्राप्तिः? हाँ, let's go to the पुल्लिंग प्रक्रिया. हाँ,
अच्छा घेः, नहीं, sorry, नहीं, all confused now. I am already tension भी आ रहा है.
Correct. That's okay. Don't worry. You are doing much better. This PPT is one of the best PPTs I have seen. Don't worry about it. So see over here, you are precisely saying अच्छा घेः. So अच्छा घेः इत्यनेन
औत् आदेशः भवति, अङ्गस्य अकारः.
So औत् आदेशः भवति and अङ्गस्य अकारः भवति. So you should write over here, that's the autva which is there in that vartika. So when you have a conflict between autva, we saw the example of guna in chaturthi ekvachanam घेरिङिति. Autva is the example seen in saptami ekvachanam. So autva ityukte au iti adeshah yatra sambhavati because of accha घेः, that is being blocked by purva sutram called ikochi vibhakto. So your accha घेः is the sutram where is number 73119. Ikochi vibhakto is 7173. These are conflicting and the parasutram is blocked by the purva sutram vruddhi autva trujvad bhavebhyo trujvad gudebhyo num vipratishedhena. So if you see the slide deck, I have explicitly listed these cases and I have also told the cases which you don't need to worry about. So in this vartikam, I gave you an example of autva in saptami ekvachanam and I gave you an example of guna which is in the chaturthi panchami shashti. We saw all these just now and I explained that trujvad bhava and vruddhi is not needed for your course right now. It is needed for a different kind of words which are not in the list of 70 words. So we don't need to worry about trujvad bhava and vruddhi. Similarly, for the next vartika, I gave an example of 6.3 and I said for the rephadesha, achir is achirarutaha rephadesha and trujvad bhava, again you don't need to discuss that in our course. So we have seen all the examples. In numachir trujvad bhavebhyo nut vipratishedhena, we only saw the case of num versus nutta, and in vruddhi autva trujvad bhavebhyo guna vipratishedhena, vruddhi autva trujvad bhava gunebhyo num pratishedhena, we saw autva versus num and we saw guna versus num. All the examples are in single prakriya, the prakriya of vari or anadi word.
I read only half, sorry.
That's okay.
यूरेका हो गया मुझे, फिर बाकी मैंने छोड़ दिया.
That's okay. No. Okay. Make sure to fix this part of your.
Good. जी, I will do that.
Okay. Next one. Super. Anything?
सुप् इत्यत्र आदेश प्रत्ययोः अनेन सकारस्य शकारादेशः भवति.
तृतीयादिषु भाषित पुंस्कं गालवस्य. Why have you written over here?
सुप् इति अजादि प्रत्ययः नास्ति.
So this sutram itself is not applicable. तृतीयादिषु भाषित पुंस्कं पुंवत् गालवस्य इति सूत्रस्यैव अत्र प्रयोगः न सम्भवति. Okay.
लघु समानेव प्रक्रिया.
लघु समानेव प्रक्रिया. So we are going to completely skip लघु. All the discussion, everything, every minute thing that we discussed in anadi, we have discussed. It will be applicable in laghu. So look at this. Napumsakasya jhalachaha iti badhitva. Sorry, in the tritiya ekvachanam, napumsakasya jhalachaha iti badhitva ango nastriyam ityatra numagama ityatra na adesha bhavati. In the chaturthi ekvachanam, where is your name? skipped here. In Chaturthi Ekvachanam, you will have to use the Vartika, same in all other cases. Okay? So that completes Laghu, and that completes what? Anadi. What is your
Anadi.
next word? Tada. Before that, I have a question. I have actually two questions, but let's see. We are going to spend time on this only. Ikochi vibhaktau. What is the meaning? We studied this sutram. We discussed this sutram again and again and again. Ikochi vibhaktau. And not again you. I want other people also to participate. It should not be just one-on-one. So ikochi vibhaktau ityatra अस्य सूत्रस्य कः अर्थः? Somebody.
इगन्तस्य नपुंसकस्य अचिपरे विभक्तौ नुमागमः भवति.
नुमागमः भवति. If I
विभक्ति
correct. Ikah achi vibhakto igantasya. Let's take ikarantasya for simplicity, because we are talking about anadi or whatever vari. Igantasya napumsakalingasya ikarantasya napumsakalingasya ajadi vibhakti pratyaya pare numagamah bhavati. What if Panini Maharshi did not write the word achi in the sutram? Ikah vibhaktau numagamah bhavati.
So pratyaya pare numagamah bhavati.
Okay. What will happen?
Anadin, shu, anadin.
Let's take one by one. What will happen if achi is not there? So the sutram is ikaha vibhaktau. What will happen? And numagama is already coming as an anuvritti, so that's not an issue. Ikaha vibhaktau numagamaha.
Bhyam bis ityatra api numagamaha bhavati.
So what is the problem? What are the incorrect forms that are generated? Let's ask others. I think we should give others also a scope to speak. If there are nobody who will speak, obviously. But Sudhavalli ji.
Forms.
What?
That is in the Bhyam and where Ajadi is not there, we will get the Nakaram.
So give me one example. Give me one example of an incorrect form.
Anadi Bhyam.
Anadi plus Bhyam. What will happen?
Say Num will come.
And then what?
Anadin.
Anadin Bhyam. Okay.
Which is not required.
Which is not correct. Anadin Bhyam. If it would have been that simple, would I have even asked you this question? So, okay. Anybody? Purnima ji.
तत्रापि there will be a nalopa pratipadikantase
nalopa pratipadikantase. Do not forget. Vyakarana cannot be forgotten. Previous sutras, if you forget, gone. Nalopa pratipadikantase. How is nalopa pratipadikantase being applied?
पदसंज्ञा भवति भ्याम इति
स्वादिश्व सर्वनामस्थाने इत्यनेन पदसंज्ञा भवति. पदसंज्ञायां सत्यां नलोपः प्रातिपदिकान्तस्य इत्यनेन नकारलोपे कृते अनादिभ्याम् इत्येव भवेत्. Correct? So this is not a right example. Now tell me, why is achi added in this sutram? Why not ikaha vibhaktau? Think. If not, I'm not revealing the answer. This is for you to do for homework. Vidya ji.
नकारद्वयं भवेत् नामि इत्यत्र आम् इत्यत्र महोदय तत्र नाम भवति नुमः
प्रक्रिया अनादि प्लस नाम. So what will happen? Anadin plus naam. And then why not nalopa pratipadikantasya will get rid of nakara? This is a pratipadikaantam padasamnyakam, because naam pratyaya pare padasamnya bhavet. So again now we'll get rid of. Like bhyam, right?
सूत्रसङ्ख्यां विस्मरामि.
No, 827 nalopa pratipadikaantasya.
तस्य प्राप्तिर् भवति वा?
प्राप्ति कथं भवति? नाम प्रत्यय परे अंगस्य प्रकृतेः पदसंज्ञा अस्ति वा? पदसंज्ञायां सत्यं नलोपः प्रातिपदिकान्तस्य इति पदसंज्ञकस्य प्रातिपदिकसन्धिनकारस्य लोपः. करेक्ट?
एका शङ्का अस्ति.
उच्यताम्.
अनादि इति इकारान्त अस्ति खलु? अनादिन् इति प्रातिपदिकं कथं सम्भवति?
कथम् अस्ति? Anybody wants to answer this question? अनादि इति इकारान्तमस्ति, तर्हि अनादिन् इति प्रातिपदिकं कथम्? anybody wants to answer? उच्यताम्।
गतवर्गे एव तस्य विषये चर्चा जाता महोदय। अत्र अनादिन् इति अभवत्, तदनन्तरं किमपि भवति चेदपि सः तदेव पदं भवति।
किमपि इत्युक्ते किं भवति पूर्णिमाजी?
नहीं, राजन् राजान् इत्यत्र स्वल्पभेदः अस्ति, परन्तु अनादि अनादि
भेदः किल, नकारः एक अर्धमात्रा कालिका भेदः किल। पूर्णिमाजी, you want to say something?
न महोदय, नुमागमः अतः नकारः अस्ति अत्र तु।
So the point to understand is when you have a numagama, the numagama is on whom? The numagama is on the prakriti, on the anga. Agama, what is the rule that we have studied? Yadagamas tadguni bhutaha tadgrahanena griyante. Agamas are part of the original entity. If you get a blister, it is a part of your body. That's an agama that becomes a part of the body. Exactly in the same way, the pratipadikam is now anadin. Clear? Whether it is a single letter, whether it is 100 letters, doesn't matter. It is a part of the pratipadikam. It gets absorbed in the pratipadikam. Pratipadika samnya is given to that. The case of Rajan versus Rajan was slightly different. There was a single matra bheda. It was not agama happening. Here it is an agama happening. Agama is an entity that gets absorbed in the original prakriti. The entire thing is called prakriti. Yad agamaha tad guni bhutaha tad grahanena griyante. Did we discuss this somewhere, at least briefly? In Paribhashendu Shekhara, there is a paribhasha over here. Where did Paribhashendu Shekhara? All the way somewhere in the beginning, I think. 11. Yadagamaha tad guni bhutaha. 11 number. Yadagamaha tad guni bhutaha tad grahanena griyante. Agamas are guni bhutaha, are the properties of the original entity. They are absorbed, they take the properties of the original entity, and when the original entity is taken, the agamas are taken along with them. So the question remains, why is ikochi vibhaktau containing the word achi? Why not ikaha vibhaktau? This is one question. So I'm not going to answer any of them. We will take this question in the next class. Note them down because I want you to think. The second question in related context is Tritiyadishu bhashita pumskam pumvad galavasya. In Tritiyadishu bhashita pumskam pumvad galavasya, there is again ajadi. Tritiyataha agre ajadi vibhakti pratyeshu. Why the same constraint over here? Why is, in fact, these are consecutive sutras if I remember right. Ikochi vibhaktau and Tritiyadishu bhashita pumskam pumvad galavasya. So why is achi needed in ikochi vibhaktau? Why is achi needed in Tritiyadishu bhashita pumskam pumvad galavasya? So both of these are questions that you need to think, discuss on the group, or we will discuss in tomorrow's class or next week's class, whatever.
Ashtadhyayi, no.
What? This is 7.1. So asiddhatva is not coming yet in the picture over here. Are you talking about nalop of pratipadikanta?
Nalop of pratipadikanta.
But then nalop of pratipadikanta asiddhatvam doesn't come in the picture because it is coming all the way at the end. When everything else is done, when dhyam and so on, everything is done, at the end you are just saying say varin or anadin. That no is being removed all the way at the end. So that's okay. Okay. Like Rajan plus bhyam, no is removed at the end to get Rajan bhyam. Okay, that completes the anadi and laghu. Laghu is identical. We can skip. I'm just going to say we are done with the laghu, or just as you know, just do one prakriya and then we will say it is done. Which one you want to do? Let's do saptami ekvachanam. Let's do the saptami ekvachanam prakriya ni and then we will say it is done.
अत्र एकोचि विभक्तो अनेन नुमागमः भवति तथा लघुनि इति रूपं सिद्ध्यति.
लघुनि इति रूपं सिद्ध्यति. What is the बाध्यबाधक भाव over here?
तत् अत्रापि अच्छघेः इति सूत्रं बाधित्वा एकोचि विभक्तो.
अच्छघेः नहीं. Sorry, अच्छघेः, not घेर. Sorry, अच्छघेः. Out and अच्छघेः. Correct. अच्छघेः.
पूर्वविप्रतिषेधेन.
So what operation is being blocked?
The out
Autva is being blocked by
Autva,
nut
autva.
agama. Autva is being blocked by nut agama, and in other cases, achaghe will give laghu. Let's do another one. Am, and then we will call it done. Am, षष्ठी बहुवचनम.
समानेव दोषः अत्रापि अस्ति.
द्वितीयं वार्तिकमत्र प्रयोक्तव्यम्.
पूर्वविप्रतिषेधेन.
नुमचित् रुजोद्भावेभ्यो नुट् पूर्वविप्रतिषेधेन. So nut is going to be blocked by numa. Sorry, nut will block numa, and you get laghu nam with dirgha ukara by nami. Okay, next. So that completes the laghu. The third one, dakaranta sarvanama napumsakalinga sarvanama samnikaha tad shabdaha.
सर्वादीनि सर्वनामानि एतेन तद् इत्यस्य सर्वनामसंज्ञा भवति. अत्रापि सु इत्यत्र समोर् नपुंसकात् अनेन एकवचनस्य प्रत्ययस्य लुक् भवति नपुंसकलिङ्गे अस्ति. तद् तथा तत् इति रूपद्वयं वावसाने अनेन चर्त्वं विकल्पेन भवति. अतः तद् तथा तत्.
Okay, what are the badhyabadaka bhavas operating over here? Question open to anybody. What are the various badhyabadaka bhavas that are operating over here in case of tada plus su? The final prakriya is correct. Somor napumsakat is the final form that is generated. But what are the other sutras that are possible candidates and that are not being finally invoked? Anybody? Anybody?
त्यदादीनाम् अनेन त इति अकारान्त भवति. अतो अम् इत्यस्य.
very good. त्यदादीनामः इत्यनेन दकारस्य अकारादेशः. त्यदादीनामः इत्यनेन विभक्ति प्रत्यये परे दकारस्य अकारादेशः. Then
अतो अम् अनेन अतः अम् akaranta.
Once that akaradesha is done, after that atoam will be in picture. But if the akaradesha is blocked, atoam is not the question over here, right? So in case of tada plus su, atoam is not in the picture. In case of tada plus su, swamor napumsakat is one candidate. The getting converted to a is the second candidate by tyadadi namaha. Is everybody with me? Or people don't remember, they haven't studied. You have to, it is expected that everybody does the entire Abhyasa Pustakam, not only the words allocated to you or chosen by you. Okay, so.
Tyadadinam iti parasutram 7-2-1.
Tyadadinamaha is? Tyadadinamaha?
72102.
72102. So tyadadigalasya shabdana vibhakti pratyaya pare akaradeshah bhavati. This is the parasutram. Okay. We will decide what wins a little bit later. Let's understand something else. Purnima ji.
Swamor napumsakat iti luk bhavati.
That is written. That is number one. Swamor napumsakat. I am just collecting the sutras that are possible to be applied over here. So swamor napumsakat is one sutram that gets applied over here. Tyadadinamaha is the second sutram that gets applied over here. Is there anything else that gets applied over here, Umaji? I only want to collect the sutras, not tell what. I don't want the answer of which is winning and which is losing. Just collect the sutras for now. Anything else?
Tadosa savanantyayoho.
Tadosa savanantyayoho. Correct. Let's see what that sutra does. Tadosa savanantyayoho. What is it doing? त्यदादिषु गणेषु विद्यमानः तकारः दकारान्ते नास्ति तस्य सुप्रत्यये परे सकारादेशः भवति. तदोस. So 72106.
सः पुल्लिङ्गे भवति.
पुल्लिङ्गे भवति. So that is a sutram that you have to say, right? So ta becoming sa. Tados savanantyayoho. Correct? Anything else? Umaji, you have anything to say?
No.
You go to complex things and simple things you forget. In case of tada plus su, which is a sutram that should come to mind with the very first step? What happens in marut plus su? Purnima ji.
Halgyabhyo
dirghasutisya pruttam. Why are we not remembering this? Halgyabhyo dirghasutisya pruttam hala itterena su pratyasya lopaha bhavati. Okay, and then there are other sutras also. If you really want to compute, if you really want to calculate, there is a huge list. Sasajushoru is also there because padanta sakarasya rutvam api sambhavati. If you just want to, for theoretical purposes, enumerate, multiple things can be enumerated. So sasajushoru who can also be enumerated and others. But we'll keep sasajushoru aside, which is a Tripadi sutram, doesn't really matter. Now let us understand the Badhya Badhaka Bhava over. Ratnakarji, you wanted to mention Halgyabhyo Dirgha. So Halgyabhyo Dirgha is a valid sutram over here. So you have Halgyabhyo Dirghat, you have Samor Napumsaka, you have Tadosa Savanantyayoho, and you have Tedadinamaha. Multiple sutras are there. Why is Samor Napumsaka being used? This is a little bit, some part you might be able to answer, some part is little bit out of scope or you might not know, but it's good time to think over these things. So why is Swamor Napumsaka being invoked? Anybody, any guesses? So Halgyabhyo Dirghat is 6.1. Swamor Napumsakat is 7.1. The to Tadosa Savanantyayoho and Tedadi Namaha are both in 7.2. Sudhavalli ji.
Napunsakaling and su and am lopaha. So it is selected.
No, that is okay, but you're just telling me the meaning of the sutram, right? Why not the to and why not the to sa?
Only is su and am are lopaha.
But then Swamor Napumsakat can be also applied to Vari, for which Tadosa Savanantyayoho is not applied. So you have a Vipratishedha, right? Vipratishedha means independent activity of each sutram. So the to and the to sa is applicable for Saha, Pullinga, where Swamor Napumsakat is not applicable. Similarly for Vari, Swamor Napumsakat is applicable, but the to and the to sa is not applicable. So you have independent execution in two different places. And you have an overlap in tada plus su. So why is Swamor Napumsakat being applied?
नपुंसकात् परस्य प्रथम द्वितीय एकवचनस्य सु आम् प्रत्ययोः लुक् भवति.
I understand that. What I am asking is, why is in case of tada plus su napumsakalinga, is the to also a valid sutram?
भाषायां तत् इति रूपमस्ति. भाषायाम् आदौ तत् इति रूपमस्ति.
भाषायां तादृशं रूपं भवति. So we have to some or the other way justify the application of Swamor Napumsakat. Why is this told? I want to see if there is a paribhasha in Paribhasha Indushekar on this. Is there in other Paribhasha Granthas? I don't quickly recollect if it is there in this particular. Look at this. This is the Paribhasha that is used over here. Sarva vidhibhyaha lopa vidhihi balavan. Somebody sing to get the sadhu form. So paribhashas are exactly created for that, to create the sadhu form. Sarva vidhibhyaha lopa vidhihi balavan. The lopa is more powerful as against to other vidhis. Therefore, Swamor Napumsakat actually it's actually little bit more specific, I think, related to look and so on, but that's there in other Paribhasha Granthas, not here. So Sarva Vidibhya Lopa Vidhi Balavan. So Lopa takes precedence over other Prakriyas, other conversions. And therefore 2 and 3, which are not Lopa, are out of scope. And therefore the only competition is between 7173 and Halgyabhyo Dirghat. Halgyabhyo is also causing a Lopa. Swamor Napumsakat is causing a Luka. And by Paratva or by Napumsakatva both, we will choose. But Paratva is better, we will choose Swamor Napumsakat. So this aspect was not actually taught, but at least you should have noticed, the expectation was that you list down the correct sutras that are participating in Badhya Badhaka Bhava. And then by Lopa Vidhihi Balavan, you can ignore the second and third, that is the to and the to sa, and the conflict between 1 to 4. 4 is in 6.1, 1 is in 7.1. So, sorry, 4th is in 6.1. And the first is Somor Napumsakat is in 7.1. So Somor Napumsakat will take precedence.
I will make correction.
Okay, that's okay. Lots of things to learn in today's class, right? Many new things. Okay, so what was this? Somor Napumsakat. Next, out.
औ इत्यत्र आदौ नपुंसकाच्च अनेन नपुंसकपातिकपरस्य औ प्रत्ययस्य शी इति आदेशः भवति। त्यदादीनाम् अनेन त्यदादिगणस्य शब्दस्य विभक्ति
त्यदादीनाम् अह त्यदादीनाम् अह त्यदादीनामः सूत्र में त्यदादीनामः
अनेन सर्वत्र एवमेव भवति।
त्यदादीनामः you have written it correctly. उच्चारण समय त्यदादीनामः
अनेन
Tyadadinamaha is a stock example of alontyasya. You have to remember these things now that you go ahead in Vyakran Shastra. If you are asked what is a simple example of alontyasya, the stock example given in almost every commentary is tyada. I don't know in my commentary. Alontyasya. Let's see this. But in almost every commentary, look at this. Tyadadinamaha is a stock example given for alontyasya. To remember this. Tyadad, even if you go to Siddhanta Kaumudi, where is this Shashti Nirdishtasya Allah Adeshasya? Does it give Tyadadinamaha? Sarvasya. He doesn't give any examples over here. But in commentaries, for example, the Tyadadinama is the most common example given for the, I think in Balamanama Tattvabodhini somewhere it will be there, is given for alontyasya. So in our course also when we studied alontyasya, I might have given you this example. You have to remember this. Anyway, so tyadadi namaha ityanena tyadadinam tyadadi ganasya shabdanam akaradesha bhavati ekavarणात्मकः आदेशः अतः अन्तिमवर्णस्य स्थाने भवति अतः दकारस्य स्थाने अकारः आदेशरूपेण भवति. Then what? So ta plus she.
अतो गुणे अनेन अपदान्तस्य अकारस्य गुणे परे पररूपे एकादेशः भवति। अतः त इति रूपं त योग इ वृद्धिरेचि अनेन ते इति रूपं
आद्गुणः त प्लस इ इज a simple guna, not वृद्धि. आद्गुणः. Okay, fix it on the yes. Okay. Next, so out is out. Just.
जस् इत्यत्र जस्ससोः शिः अनेन नपुंसकात् जस् प्रत्ययपरे शी आदेशः अनेन शी सर्वनामस्थानम् अनेन शी इत्यस्य सर्वनामस्थाने इति संज्ञा नपुंसकस्य झलचः अनेन नुमागमः भवति. तदनन्तरं किमस्ति अतो गुणे हलन्त्यम् अनेन मकारस्य लोपः तन्न योग इ तान् सर्वनामस्थाने च संबुद्धौ अनेन असंबुद्धिवाचके सर्वनामस्थाने परे उपधा दीर्घ भवति तानि इति रूपं सिद्ध्यति.
तत्तेतानि ta onwards I think we did for kim last week, so it's exactly like that. Just the only thing is the tyadadi namaha will cause an akaradesha. So let's stop ta and then we'll skip a few and then you might say something else. You can speak ta. There's a question over here. Is that because Shashti Sthani Yoga, in case of alontyasya, Shashti Sthani Yoga is very different. Alontyasya is just saying antima varnasya adesha bhavati. You can revise these two sutras. There's no direct relation over here.
Ta ityatra tyadadi namah anena akaradeshah त योग टा अतो गुणे अनेन अकारस्य गुणे परे एकरूपे एकादश त योग इन आद्गुणः येन तेन भवति. अत्र
तागस्य सामनास्य it should be वृद्धिरेचि, right?
न आद्गुणः.
Okay. तागस्य सामनास्यः इत्यनेन इन आदेशः गुण एकादेशे कृते तेन इति. भ्याम भिज नी and so on we can ignore. Everything is already done with kim. Let's go to tasmin one last time, then we'll say
तद योग गि त्यदादीनाम् अनेन अकारादेशः अतो गुणे गसि गसोः स्यात्स्मिनो अनेन स्मात्स्मिनौ अनेन सर्वनामस्य परे ङि इत्यस्य स्मिन् आदेशः भवति. अतः तस्मिन् इति रूपं सिद्ध्यति.
This all सर्वनामनः, not सर्वनामस्य. सर्वनामनः सर्वत्र यत्र यत्र सर्वनामस्य इति लिखितमस्ति सर्वनामनः इति. Okay, sup is teshu. We have studied this. Okay, we'll go to your last word, karman. I will not ask any question. We will ask so many. But before that, for tad, I want to ask one question. Why is tad? Again, the question is to everybody. Why is tad a dakaranta word? What will happen if the pratipadikam is created as tat with a takaranta pratipadikam, or tat as a thakaranta pratipadikam, or tad as the dhakaranta pratipadikam? You have to answer each of them separately. So why is the pratipadikam tad? Why not tat? Tat like agnimath. Not why not like tad? Why only tat? Vidyaji, which one you want to pick up? Pick one and answer. Or you want to give a single answer for all of them?
प्रयत्नं करोमि महोदय तत्र उचितः न भवेत्
That's okay. That's okay. Don't worry about it.
तत्र तद् इति अस्ति तत्र पदम् अस्ति इति जलाञ्जशोन्ते इत्यनेन दकारः अन्तिमस्थितौ स्थले अस्ति
अन्तिमस्थले परन्तु केन सूत्रेण जष्त्वं भवति?
जलाञ्जशोन्ते इत्यनेन
परन्तु झलाञ्जशोन्ते इत्यनेन जष्त्वं प्रक्रियायां भवेत् किल? प्रातिपदिक अवस्थायां तथ इति किमर्थं न दत्तम्? प्रक्रियायां तु सर्वत्र तद इति भवति. प्रथमा एकवचनस्य रूपे, लेट्स सी द प्रथमा एकवचनं नपुंसकलिङ्गे प्रथमा एकवचने यत्र कुत्रापि सुप्रत्यये कृते स्वमोर् नपुंसकात् इत्यनेन सुप्रत्ययस्य लोपे कृते अग्रे झलां जशोन्ते इति पदान्त जष्ट्वे विकल्पेन वा अवसाने इति चर्त्वे तद तथा तत इत्येव रूपद्वयं सम्भवति. किमपि प्रातिपदिकं स्यात् अन्तिमं रूपं तु तद नो चेत् तत इत्येव भवेत्. तर्हि अत्र तद इति दकारान्तं प्रातिपदिकम् एव किमर्थं स्वीकृतं, थकारान्तं किमर्थं न इति प्रश्नः. प्रश्नः स्पष्टः?
तत्र त्यदादीनाम् अह इति दीयते त्यतादीनाम् इति तत्र दकारस्य विषये एव त्यदादीनाम् इत्यत्र दीयते किल महोदय?
तत्र त्यदादीनामः इत्यत्र त्यद इति शब्दः अस्ति, नाट् तद. त्यदादीनाम् इत्युक्ते त्यदादिगणस्य शब्दः. परन्तु तत्र मूलरूपेण यदि त्यत् त्यथ इति शब्दं स्थापयामश्चेदपि त्यदादीनामः इत्येव भवेत्. किमर्थं? त्यद प्लस आदि इत्यत्र जष्टुवे कृते दकारः एव स्यात्. सो मूलरूपेण त भवेत्, थ भवेत्, त भवेत्, ध भवेत्. त्यदादि इति शब्दे दकारः एव श्रूयेत. आर यू गेटिंग व्हाट आई एम सेइंग? जष्ट्वेन. And then you are going in a cyclic argument. Let it be, forget, let's assume Jashtvam is not there. Jashtvam nasti iti chintayamashchedapi पाणिनिना त्यद इति शब्दः मूलरूपेण स्थापितः, अतः त्यदादीनामः इति सूत्रं कृतं. यदि तेन त्यध इति शब्दः स्थाप्यते तर्हि त्यदादीनाम् इति सूत्रमपि सः कर्तुं शक्नुयात्. Clear? So you are giving a wrong argument. You are using his own sutra to tell his own decision. It's reverse. He first made a decision and then made a sutra on that. Am I making myself clear?
Mहोदय.
Sautratvat. No, that is not the correct. I mean, eventually, if you don't find any answer, you have to say Sautratvat. Vaichitryatvat. Vichitra paninehe kritihi. And finally, he is the king. He can do whatever he wants. We just have to follow what he said. But that's the last argument. Is there any logical argument? Like we talked about shasha last week, right? Why is it not written as shatta? Why shasha? So in the same way, is there any other sensible argument which will force him either to create the pratipadikam as tada, or if the pratipadikam is created as tatha, he will have to force another sutra, which he doesn't want to do. That's why he uses the pratipadikam as tada.
प्रायेण यथा भवता उक्तं तत्र शश् इत्यत्र धनुष् इत्यत्र तत्र आरम्भस्थलेषु तत्र क्षत्वं वा अन्यत् सूत्रं वा असिद्धं भवेत्.
चर्त्वं तु सर्वत्र असिद्धमेव भवति किल. तत इत्यत्र तद इत्यत्र चर्त्वम् is in the sapati, the tripadi, so it's always asiddha.
तस्मात् तस्य परिवर्तनं न भवति खलु महोदय तत्र तदिति
परिवर्तनं न भवेत् चेदपि किं भवेत्? गिव् मी एन एग्जांपल ऑफ अ फॉर्म दैट विल गो फॉर अ टॉस, दैट विल बी इनकरेक्ट.
तदेव लग्नम् इति.
That is okay. See, tadeva, tadeva, it is not a problem, because even if it is a pratipadikam called tatha, the prathama ekvachanam is going to be tada. So the forms like tadeva are not going to be problematic. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes,
The
yes.
reason why I'm asking this question is that whichever could be the form of the pratipadikam, tata, tada, tatha, tadha, the prathama ekvachanam is always going to be tada in striling, in napumsakalinga. It is not going to differ at all. Su is anyway going to be removed, and jhalan jashonte will cause a jashtva anyway. So why is tata, tatha and tadha not considered the valid pratipadikas?
तत् तथा तद् एव रूपाणि सन्ति अतः
tat tatha tad ete eva rupe staha.
रूपे
So,
स्तः.
that's okay. That's okay. Not an issue. That's not a question. Therefore, tatha tadha tadha iti nasti. This argument is partially correct because you are only eliminating 2, 50-50. You're only eliminating 2 now. But still you have not answered why tatta is not the pratipadika. Clear? So you gave an answer that, see, the answer given was that all the forms are tattha or tadha. So why waste time in giving tatha and tadha? I'll take that as an answer. There is a better answer, but I will still take this as an answer. So therefore, tadha and tadha are eliminated. But still that leaves us with tatta and tadha. Tadha is the correct pratipadikam. Why not tatta is the question.
न जानामि कुत्रचित् समासे
Correct. Almost there. Think about it. There is a tadhita pratyayanta word which many of you might be aware, which cannot be generated if you start with tata.
तथा
Almost.
तदा
No, tata is different. Tata is nothing
तदा
to do.
तदा तदा तथा इति तथा इति भवेत्
But tata is not generated from tad, right?
ततः न
Tataha. Tataha. Tataha is not generated from tada. Tada is not generated. Let's see the. Let's go to the kosham. Hold on. Tada. It's in the. I can't recollect immediately now. It's a very trivial derivation. I should be remembering it. Da pratyay asti in tada. There is a da pratyay if I'm not. Tadodacha. So there is a da pratyay. So tada becomes da, giving tada. So that's nothing to do with whether it is tada or tada. If you go to 5319, 5319, let's go to this sutra. Tadodacha. Tad sapta vibhakta kalyavide da iti pratyaya vidhiyate. So tad plus da, tyadadi namah ityanena tad da tada. Everything is possible for takara also. Umaji.
तद्दिदं तस्मै हितं तद्दिदम् इत्यत्र तकारः अस्ति चेत् तद्दिदम् इति रूपसिद्धिः भवति वा
Tad hitam. What will happen if it is tata? Why will not jashtva happen? Jashtva will happen to form tada anyway. Correct?
हितं परे
So padam asti kila. Tad hitam. Padam asti. So it will get converted to dakara. Even if the pratipadikam is tatha, it will get converted to dakara because of jashtvam, because this is a pada in tadhita or in samasa. This is a samasa. Tad plus hitam. है ना? और तद plus अर्थम. तदर्थम. Srinivas ji, please raise your hand. हाँ.
तदीयम् इति
Very good. Tadiyam. Very good. Tadiyam. Now you probably do not know, but in case of tadiyam, there is no pada samnya because this is not a samasa that is happening. It is a iya, which is a tadhita pratyaya. Actually, you should know this. It is iya. It is ajadi pratyaya. अजादि प्रत्यये परे अंगस्य प्रकृतेः पदसंज्ञा न भवति, प्रकृतेः भ संज्ञा भवति. If the pratipadika was tat, it would cause tatiya. If the pratipadika was tatha, it would cause tathiya. If the pratipadika was tadha, it would cause tadhiya. None of these are correct forms. Tadiya is the correct form. Therefore, Padini had no choice but to give the pratipadikam as tada. Very good. Is this clear to everybody? See how he would have thought writing it's not just 4,000 sutras, it's the entire Arnava, entire ocean of grammar that was churning in his head. And because of that, he has created these kind of sutras. It is much, much, much beyond those 4,000 sutras. The grammar starts at these 4,000 sutras. All these questions are not answered in the grammar. Only when you have a complete understanding what Panini had in his brain, he could come up with these particular decisions. So tadiya. So if he would have created a pratipadikam as tatha or tata or tadha, he would have required to create another sutram all the way for converting that particular letter to the even when it is not a pada. So tada plus iya is the tadhita pratyaya, cha becomes iya, iya is the tadhita pratyaya, iya is an ajadi tadhita pratyaya, swadishva sarvanama sthane su ityadishu asarvanama samnikeshu pratyeshu pareshu अंगस प्रकृतेः पदसंज्ञायां प्राप्तायां यचिभम इत्यनेन तद्बाधित्वा भसंज्ञा विधीयते. When there is a bhasamnya, you don't get any particular conversion to jashtva, and therefore tada has to be a correct form. Okay, what was the last word? Karman. We will take it in 3-4 minutes. But there is a question, but this does not go with bhavadiya. Shutosh, raise your hand. I want to hear the question properly. Let everybody hear the question.
I was only trying to draw a parallel between Tadiya and Bhavadiya.
Bhavat.
Because here Pratipadikam is Bhavat.
Bhavat plus iya. Bhavatiya. Then maybe I'm wrong. स्वाविश्व सर्वनामस्यास्थाने यचिभम तस्सौमत्वर्थे तकारान्तं सपारान्तं शब्दं भवत् प्लस य भवदीय. What is the let's look at the kosha. Bhavadiya. It's completely blank at that moment. There is a chasa pratyaya. It is not a cha pratyaya. It is a chasa pratyaya. Bhavatah thak chasau. So specifically for the bhavat word, there is a separate pratyaya given, which is a chasa pratyaya. It is not the same pratyaya. You just saw the sutram. Might not understand, but I'll explain. 42115. So 42115. There is a specific sutram explicitly given for the bhavat word chasya apavadaha. So I explained that in case of tada, there is a cha pratyaya which is converted to iya. I just mentioned 2 minutes ago. In case of bhavat, there is a chasa pratyaya which is given as an apavada of cha. Chasa pratyaya causes the jashtvam with a specific rule called siticha. We have not learned that, but it is in the same set of sutras as the look at this. So suktingantabadam nakye siticha swadishva sarvanamasthane. So there is a separate sutram called siticha which we have not learned, but it is this sutram that allows a jashtvam. I think I might have written this example over here. Look at this. This is a prakriya that I have written right over here in the website. Chas pratyay. So you have bhavat plus chasa. This chasa pratyay is a specific case where there will be a padasamnya. Once the padasamnya happens, jhala anjashondeti padanta jashtvam bhavati. So if it would have been only cha pratyaya, jashtva was not possible. There is a chasa pratyaya, a specific pratyaya is given. There is a sutram in Ashtadhyayi that makes the word as a padasamnyaka in presence of that. Look at this. Sit pratyaya pare. There is a itsamnyaka sakara. Sit pratyaya pare stiti chaiti bhavat shabdasya padasamnya bhavati. Padasamnyayam satyam jhalanjashonditi dakara vidyate. Thank you very much for asking this question. Bhavat plus chasa, there will be jashtvam and gives bhavadiya. For tada, there is no jashtvam. Therefore, tada plus cha would be normal tadiya. Now, a question on the top of it that is asked is that what is the problem if you create the pratipadikam called tatha or tadha or tata? If you create a pratipadikam called tatha or tadha or tata, instead of giving the cha pratyaya, like bhavata, give a chasa pratyaya. So you are anyway giving a chasa pratyaya for bhavat, give the chasa pratyaya for tad also, and then there will be a jashtvam like it is happening in bhavata, and then you will get tadiya. So that argument is correct. However, that is an unnecessarily gaurava, that is some extra work. Alpaksharatvam, somebody correctly pointed it out. Not just alpaksharatvam, but this problem is not limited to tada. It will be tyada, tada, etada. In all these cases, unnecessarily you will have to give an extra sakara by creating a weird looking pratipadikam like tatha and tata. It was very simple. So lagvatvam, alpaksharatvam, that is correct. So therefore, there is no need to give a chasa pratyaya or for tada, etada and so on. You just give the normal word like tada and give a cha pratyaya. That luxury is not there in case of bhavat. Bhavat must be a takaranta word because you have forms like bhavata, bhavate, and so on. So atva santasi chadhato, somebody is saying. So attu pratyaya is required over there. Not attu, but not just attu, but ta is required. Bhavata, bhavate, bhavataha, bhavatam, sarvatra takaraha shruyate. So for bhavat, you have no choice but have it as a takaranta. You cannot have it as a takaranta, and therefore that chasa pratyaya was explicitly created for bhavat, and therefore a separate sutram called siticha was created to give a padasamya on that bhavat. Thank you very much for this question. Very illuminating discussion. We will go to the last word and then we will stop. Karman, I promise no questions on karman. So you can just start and in 2-3 minutes you can finish it.
नपुंसकलिंग कर्मण शब्दः स्वमोर नपुंसकात् अनेन
Before that,
सुप्रत्ययस्य
let's read this because this is important. You add a manin pratyaya. There is an unadi pratyaya called manin on kru. Kru plus manin becomes karma. Okay. I don't know why you wrote manin. Is it there in the unadi patha?
Am.
Okay.
I saw it.
So unadi pratyaya manin, you get karma. Okay. Now let's do the prakriya.
समोर नपुंसकात् अनेन प्रथम एकवचनस्य प्रत्ययस्य लुक् भवति नलोप प्रातिपदिकान्तस्य अनेन नकार अन्तिमनकारस्य लोपः भवति अतः कर्म अचराभ्यां द्वे इत्यनेन कर्म
very good. Okay. Everywhere you have diligently written Dvitva. Okay.
सम्बुद्धौ समानेव समोर नपुंसकात् अनेन प्रथम एकवचनस्य लुक् भवति नलोप प्रातिपदिकस्य इति सूत्रं न गि सम्बुद्ध्योः अनेन बाधते परन्तु नपुंसकानाम् इति वक्तव्यं वार्तिकेन
परन्तु वा
नपुंसकानाम् इति
Okay, next.
औ तथा औट् इत्यत्र नपुंसकाच्च अनेन औ इत्यस्य शी आदेशः.
See, you did anadi. As soon as no comes anadini and karmani, entire prakriya becomes same. So, or is there a difference?
यचिभं भ संज्ञा सत्यां उपधा आकारस्य लोपः भवति विभाचा गिष्यो अनेन विकल्पेन भवति सः लोपः न संयोगात् वमन्तस्य अनेन
निषिध्यते करेक्ट न संयोगात् वमन्तात् इत्यनेन विभाषा गिष्यो अल्लोपो नः इत्यनेन अकारस्य लोपे अल्लोपो नः इत्यनेन अकारस्य लोपे प्राप्ते विभाषा गिष्योः इत्यनेन शी प्रत्यये परे दिस इज शी राइट विभाषा गिष्यो इत्यनेन शी प्रत्यये परे स्तः विकल्पेन प्राप्ते no questions but still, which is a prakriya where vibhasha gisho is seen applicable for she? Anybody? I cannot stay without asking questions. You are saying vibhasha gisho iti nishidyate, which is correct, but give me an example where vibhasha gisho is actually applied.
वारी वारिणी अने
नकारांत पूर्णिमा जी
राजन शब्द महोदय
she only for she I am asking
अस्तु न
नाम
correct.
नाम नाम
Namni.
नामनी
Namni.
नामनी
Namni. See, I asked this question, all this should be on the tip of your tongue. Please practice again and again. Do not keep this course as the last priority in your life. Please practice this and make
नाम
sure that
नामनी नामनी नामानी
Nama, Namani or Namani and Namani. So that's the Vibhasha Nishtyo, and that is blocked by Na Sanyogat Vamantat over here. Therefore, you have only Karmani and not the half. The Akara is not gone. Okay? अल्लोपनैतेन उपादाकारस्य लोपः विभाषा निषेधेन विकल्पेन न संयोगात् इति निषिध्यते. Then what?
नत्वं भवति अट् कुप्वाङ्गं नवय
and then
कर्मणि
achurhabhyam de karmani. Okay. Karman out same.
जस् इत्यत्र शी आदेशः भवति जस् शशौषिः सर्वनामस्थानम् इति संज्ञा भवति सर्वनामस्थाने च सम्बुद्धो अनेन कर्माणि इति रूपं
कर्माणि. This I am appreciating this dvitvas because there are some words in literature you can actually see them used with the dvitva more frequently than without the dvitva. Karma is a one word like that. So karmani or karmani, this will typically be seen used with dvitva. Or vartika, you can still write vartika with a r plus ta, but typically it is seen with the dvitva, vartika. So this is one example where you can actually see that is being derived over here. That dvitva is derived over here. Okay, next karma, karmani, karmani, karma, karmani, karmani. Same thing, right? Nothing else.
Same.
Tritiya. Same, Sanyoga, Vamantat, and so on. Let's go to Bhyam.
भ्याम इत्यत्र स्वादिषु सर्वनामस्थाने अनने प्रकृतेः पदसंज्ञा सत्यां न लोपः पादिपते परातिपदिकान्तस्य अनेन नकारस्य लोपः भवति पदान्तस्य. Sorry. अचोराभ्यां द्वे.
अचोराभ्यां द्वे इत्यनेन
द्वित्वं भवति.
अचोराभ्यां द्वे is for karmabhyam. Here what you did?
अनचि अनेन.
अनचि चैत्यनेन द्वित्वे कृते. How did ba come?
जस्त्वं भवति तत्र.
Which is the sutram?
झलां झषि.
झलां. You do right, na? If you writing the dvitva, you write the sutra. झलां झषि इत्यनेन द्वित्वं भवति. Correct. This is okay. Same thing. Ngeng, bhyas, ngasi, ngas. Let's do say sup, and we will be done.
कर्मन् योग सुप स्वादिषु असर्वनामस्थाने अनेन मरुत् इत्यस्य न सुप कर्मन् इत्यस्य प्रकृतेः पदसंज्ञा सत्यां न लोपः प्रातिपदिकान्तस्य अनेन नकारस्य लोपः कर्मसु.
योगः कर्मसु कौशलम्. Okay, only 4. Even a kurma will be faster than us. But anyway, we did 4 words today. Balaji. Tomorrow we will start with you. Then Sunanda, Lalitha ji, we will continue with
Bahu dhanyawadaha.
Sorry, Bahu dhanyawadaha. Thank you very much. But a lot of learning in today's class. We will stop here. We are out of time and we will meet tomorrow. Are Ratnakar ji, you have a question? Yes.
Namaste Acharya. Namaste to all. Basically, this is a height of ignorance. Maybe the question is weird little. The thing is, when we look at a pada, what is that we should look for while doing a prakriya? I think my question is clear.
No, I mean, you should basically think of...
Now you have let us say, one pada is there. And what is pratipadikam? Then we add some pratyaya and all. But while looking at these two, what exactly we are supposed to look at, like
I mean, which sutram, for example, is applied? It automatically happens. Yeah, that's all. So that's all that you have to look at. Which sutram is applied? If there is a badhyabadaka bhava, which sutram will block which sutram? See, these are all stepwise studies. So in very introductory level, you don't need to think about badhyabadaka bhava at all. That's why I did not even mention that in our actual classes. Right? You just remember what sutram has to be applied. Now that we are progressing, I am talking about badhyabadaka bhava and other stuff, other things. Okay?
Okay.
But basically what sutram is applied and what is the final form and does it match the actual form used in prayoga? Because if you are randomly deriving something, there is no point. It should match something that is in the prayoga. That's all that you have to think about. Okay?
It's not just like varnamaranam. What is that we need to look at? That's what I'm...
Angakarya, sarvanamasthana, bhakarya, padakarya, and so on. You have to look all these things. And this is a small thing. Subanta prakriya is extremely small. It is like a small pond. When you go to Tiganta prakriya, it's the ocean. So we'll see what happens at that time. Sudhavalli ji. Yeah, thank you. Sudhavalli ji.
Gup pakarante pumlinga only, not strilinga. That
No,
that
that's
I
okay.
want.
But what is given in the Abhyasa Pustakam? Is it Pullinga or Strilinga?
Pumlinga.
That's okay. Pullinga. I'll fix it. See, Gupa is basically the one who protects. So in Strilinga
Yes.
also, if it's a female protector, it is Gupa Strilinga. Pullinga protector is Pullinga. Whatever is given in the Abhyasa Pustakam, we will take it. Same thing is with this, Sajush. Sajush word, I have given it as a Napumsakalinga in the Abhyasa Pustakam. These words, which are quip pratyanta words, are in all three lingas. You can choose whichever linga you want. I gave it in the Napumsaka, like that. So it is Pullinga. So you are saying I have to correct my slide, is what I'm saying. What you're saying, right? So I'll change this slide to say Pullinga. Okay. Forms are going to be same. There's going to be no difference. Ratnakarji.
This is too much, Acharya, from my side. In fact, when there is in the Abhyasa Pustakam, you have given all the words like that. But I think there can be this thing, wherein if I click on the word in the index, this thing, straight away that leads to the Prakriya place. I think that sort of thing is there. Normally that happens in the PDFs and all. Can that be done? Otherwise, we have to roll down all the padas and to whichever pada I need to do, there I have to stop it like that.
It is not there? Are you saying it is not there in the Abhyasa Pustakam?
Yeah, yes, Acharya. Suppose if you...
This is there. If, for example, you want to go to your which word? Let's go to
Sajush,
your
let us
Sajush
see.
word. Just click here and go to Sakaranta Namazanga. It will be there in front of you. I just did it in front of you. Is there?
Acha.
Just go over here. It's not underlined, but it is a link. You just click over there and then something will come up and you click over that and you directly go to that word. So it's there.
Oh, I didn't observe that. Every time I'm rolling down and then...
No, you can try next time, okay?
Does it come in this thing also when I copy it?
Yeah.
I made the copy of it and then...
If you made the copy and if you made some changes like say delete this or something, for example, if you press 3 dots and remove and so on, that will not happen. But otherwise it will happen.
Okay. Probably this is the same sort of prakriya we will be doing in Tiganta Prakarana also for
Tiganta is going to be slightly different because Tiganta is an ocean. I'm going to take it in a slightly different way. We'll see. Okay, let's hope we will reach the Tiganta. I don't know whether we'll complete the Abhyasa Pustakam also in 2026.
That's
so, okay. One more year probably.
Thank you.
Anyway, thank you very much. We will meet tomorrow at the same time. We will at least have a few more. Every class when I start, I say no more questions today and then I fail miserably. But it leads to a very interesting discussion. So let's see. Hopefully at some point in time, we will finish up the Abhyasa Pustakam. Samapayamaha shvaha nirmita-rupena kaksha bhavishyati. अष्टाध्यायी जगन्माता यस्य चित्तात् समुत्थिता वेदानामुपकाराय तस्मै पाणिनिये नमः. शब्द ब्रह्म समाराध्य कृतवान्य विलक्षणं सर्वाश्चर्यमिदं शास्त्रं तस्मै पाणिनिये नमः. येन धौता गिरः पुंसां विमलैः शब्दवारिभिः तमिष्टाज्ञानजं भिन्नं तस्मै पाणिनिये नमः. धन्यवादः.